Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Definitely. I think with mental health as well, it's deceiving from my experiences from where I work is sometimes you can't even see it physically sometimes. Mental
Yeah,
health can creep up. You might look at someone and you might think they are so fine, they're
yeah,
all right, but they could be going through the most
and
deepest stuff. I think that was what was happening with me
yeah,
once. I still was smiling with everyone, but no one knew what I was going through because I had that pride of don't want to look vulnerable. So
yeah.
let me just,
It's that
yeah, man.
it's like an iceberg. So we
Hmm.
often only see the tip, but the signs are often there. So even though it's invisible to an extent, we can see mental health through our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors. So those are the
Yeah,
things that we're looking at: is how we're thinking, how we're feeling, and how we're behaving. Those are the
see,
signs.
there are some people though that like to throw it out there, depressed and all that sometimes, and I find that annoying because it's like it's a slap in our face. Like, don't make fun of having depression when you haven't got depression. If you know what I mean. There's some people that will do that, and I find it very disrespectful. Like, don't say you got depressed. Like, for me personally, someone who's depressed, in my opinion, they don't say they're depressed. They like to think they're okay, and
Mm,
these are signs that I tell people to watch out for.
yeah,
Because sometimes people ain't gonna come out and go, "I'm depressed, help me."
yeah.
It's not like that at all.
It's
So
not. It's not. Do you find as a man, how do you find talking about mental health as a man, as a black man?
I was gonna get into that question, but yeah,
Sorry, I'll take it
as a
over.
black man, as a black man, at first I found it like a pride thing again. Before I went into it deep, I found it like a pride, like, oh man, you know what I mean? And I don't want to tell no my business because they're not really gonna care. You know what I mean? How I think in this society sometimes, like, they're not gonna care. And plus I'm black and they're not gonna give a damn, man. I'm just gonna fight through it and I'm gonna be strong like Malcolm X and all them and Muhammad Ali and all that. But it's like, we're human at the end of the day. I
Yeah,
think it's when my skin got real bad, and yeah, as when skin got real bad and I got real depressed, and when I hit rock bottom to the point where no money financially, just wasn't myself,
yeah,
couldn't even think for myself. I wasn't thinking for myself. I was letting people think for me, and you know what I mean, I was saying yes to everything, and I think, yeah, it was bad, man. And I think why I am the way I am now with a lot of people, because a lot of people used to say to me, yeah, you used to always have these haircuts and you used to trim your beard this way, you used to shave up, and it's like I don't do that no more because them times when I was doing that, I wasn't doing that because it was me. I was doing that because I felt like I had to impress everyone.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And these are things that people don't understand. I'm not doing that dressing up business, not because like I'm not doing it to because I'm being stubborn. It's like I'm doing it because I feel comfortable with who I am. Like, I don't
yeah.
need to go out in the freshest suit or get the freshest trim or get the you know what I mean? It's like I'm like, right, this is what you get, man. Like,
It's
if I get a
those
shape out here and there, then I do, you know what I mean?
it's like
I just
society's expectations, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So it's like I get enough people still saying to me now, oh, you should dress like this, man. Where's this Chris? I said he's over there, innit? Like there's like
I still want to do your hair though. Like it's still
yeah, you can
screaming
if
at
you want to. How you gonna do it? How you gonna
as
do
much,
it?
as much as I get it, like because I do hair, I'm like I just want to get my fingers in and just like
Do you
yeah,
know what though? I wouldn't mind because you wouldn't be trying to flipping. I don't think you would try and change who I am. I think you try and adapt to what I am. So
yeah, yeah.
I think other people have tried to be like, no, I want you to be like this. And soon as someone says that to me now, I'm like, nah, I
Oh,
don't need you in my life. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
No, we haven't got room for that.
Nah, man, nah, man. I mean, there's people that, yeah, I'll take advice and adapt to it, but yeah, I'll
Go,
come down and let you do what you gotta do.
going back to mental health and being a black,
Yeah,
yeah, braid it. Someone said, um,
braid it, you know.
being
Rah.
being a black man and mental health, like, do you have like who do you have people that you can go to or reach out to for support? Like, what do you do? How do you approach, or manage your mental health? Or yeah, what are your thoughts on that?
I
Hey,
mean, nowadays, right? I'm on my own a lot, so I kind of like enjoying my own space, and I'm learning to fight on my own. At the same time, there is people I can turn to. So people I know I can talk to, like yourself. I know I can talk to you. Um, People may think this is weird. I don't think it is, but I can talk to my daughter.
yeah,
Don't tell her my problems. I just talk to her. See, with me, with most people, I think they need to understand mental health. You don't need to try and advise people. Just talk to them, man.
you know what? That is so key. Like, and
Just talk to them.
that's part of the training I deliver. Like I say to, people on my courses that we're not here to give advice. All we're here to do is give information, give support, and give encouragement and hope, and
Yeah,
sometimes it's about listening. Sometimes all you have to do is just listen and be present with the person, and that's it. That's it.
that's it. What's your views on it then, as a black woman with mental health? Like, how important is it to you?
It's very important. I think as a black woman, there are certain things that I think are just naturally my part of my responsibility, just as a woman, in terms of being a nurturer, a teacher, someone that empowers people to kind of grow and develop themselves. That's just part of who I am. Um, but in terms of like mental health and being a black woman, I think there's a lot more awareness around black women's health and mental health in comparison to black men over the years. I think black women have had more spaces to work on healing and come together and have discussions and explore different things. In
Yeah,
comparison to black men, I think there's been more for black women. But I still think there is still a lot of stigma around black women perhaps being over sexualized, or perhaps seen as being angry, stereotypically angry. That's one thing that I've battled with, is being the angry black woman.
I hate that. I hate that.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, I'm an angry black woman. I have a lot to be angry about,
But
racism.
there's angry white women.
Exactly. There are angry.
So like, now let's look at this stigma they got, these Karen stigmas. If you look at them videos, right, how angry are most of them? They're angry.
They're wild angry.
They're mean. So do you know what? And this is what bugged me, right? So one time I heard someone say this, where apparently this girl had a mixed race child, and someone asked her, what's your daughter like? This, that, the other. White woman, she goes, "Oh, my daughter she has an attitude, man." So they asked her, "What do you mean has an attitude?" "Oh, she has a black girl attitude." So he goes, "What? So what do you
Hold on.
mean?"
Go back a step. So what color's the parent?
Parents white with a
Yeah.
mixed race child, and
Okay.
she goes, "Oh, my daughter has a black girl attitude." So they were like, "So what do you mean black girl attitude? How does that make any sense?"
Mm.
"Oh, black girl attitude." I goes, attitude. It's a white women can have attitude. No, not like the black girls. He was like, "This is weird. Like, you have a child, and you're saying she has a black girl attitude. Like, that made no sense."
Yeah, that
When
doesn't
I
make
heard that,
sense
I
to
just
me.
thought, wow, huh?
That doesn't make much sense to me either.
Doesn't make sense. Like, black girl attitude. Like, when people say that stuff, is stupid. It's like black girl, white girl. Attitude's attitude. If you got
So do you
attitude,
think so do you think black women are labeled as having an attitude by society?
but you know what? It was when I was younger. It was that stigma was out there. Like, they had attitude, but they both got that. Anyone has attitude.
What do you
White, black, Asian.
where do you think the attitude might be coming from?
The media, if I'm honest, I reckon the media. In films where they do make them seem like they're angry and all that. Like, and that's one thing. And then I think, like, a lot of back in the day, they used to think I used to hear this a lot back in the day, where some guys would be like, "I prefer a white girl because they ain't got no attitude. You tell them what to do, and then they accept it." And it's just like, I'm like, right, is that how it is? But no, it's not like that.
Was that how it was back then?
I used to hear them stories when I was younger. I'm not gonna say who and when, but when I was younger, I used to hear them stories, and I was like, really? So no.
And so it's as if the black women have been abandoned or rejected.
Just straight away like that.
Maybe it's because we remind you guys of your mothers.
But you know what? Talking from my experience, I've been with someone with an attitude, and they weren't black. And then I've been with someone who's black who never had attitude. So it's like it's stupid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what are your thoughts then? I'm gonna swift the. Or do you have another question? Because I have a question.
I got lost.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.